Hey y'all, so I want to tell you about a little something that happens in the day of the life of Maria and Matt. Matt has opinions, and when I don't listen, this is what I hear.
I'm Matt, and this is my wife Maria. People have asked us how it is that we've been able to have such a great marriage through all of life's crazy, through better and worse, through sickness and health, till death do us part. So we decided to talk about how it is that we find the good in our lives. So come join us as we help you to find the good in your life.
And we're back.
So we just got done working out at the park near our house. So I'm trying not to breathe. Anyway, so we wanted.
I sweat hard.
So we wanted to
Natural deodorant.
We wanted to talk real quick. I did a Facebook Live a couple days ago about balance and the reality of balance, and the idea behind it was the fact that balance, like an even balance between spouse and kids and work and fun and friends, that doesn't exist. It's not like you can spend 5 hours doing one thing and then 5 hours doing it. It's not how life works. So one of the analogies I used was you're standing on the shore at a beach and you're standing there perfectly fine, completely in balance. Then a wave comes and hits you. You have to shift your legs to regain balance, and you're in balance again, but you're in a different position than you were before. That's what life is like. So every time life happens, good, bad, whatever, you end up having to shift your center of balance to find a new one in order to support the new portion of life you're in. The other example I used was if you're having a kid, assuming that you're married or whatever in a relationship, when you have that baby, then your priorities shift. So normally for most people, if they're married before kids, their priorities are usually spouse and then work and then friends and whatever. As soon as that kid comes, hopefully your priorities shift to spouse, kid, then work and friends and all that stuff.
I love how you say kid. That kid.
Baby,
the child, the baby,
child.
your new blessing.
It's a kid. It is, it's a kid. The new baby, the new blessing in your life. But there was something, so I didn't emphasize this on my live, but I do believe that spouse comes before your kids for a couple different reasons. First of all, I'm a Christian, and in my belief, when you get married, the two become one. And so it's technically not possible to separate the two. And when your kids go off to be married, they're supposed to separate themselves from the parents.
They leave you
to become one with their spouse. So eventually they're going to separate from you. Sorry, it is what happens.
It is.
So the idea is you marry your spouse forever. Your kids are only around until they're old enough to go get married on their own or go do whatever they're going to do and be adults. Whatever that looks like for them. So that's why I think I was speaking for her too. That's why we believe that spouse has to come before kids as a priority. But the point is, balance, don't think of balance as balance. Think of balance as which priorities are you going to put first? That's your balance.
Yeah.
And whichever ones are the highest priority, those are the ones that you balance more. Whichever ones are lower priorities, you balance them less, and that's just how life works. My hand is shaking because I just got done doing a whole bunch of push-ups.
He did. So, balance for us looks different on different days. Like, most days I write, or I'm doing research. To the outside looker-inner, it may look like I'm just on my computer looking at YouTube or Pinterest or Google. But I'm actually doing...
Which she is technically doing those things.
But I'm doing research, and I do that for my books, and also, so my balance on different days is different things, and though my priority is always God, hubby, and then whatever else comes. Whatever else comes can be different on each day. Like on Mondays, it's his busiest day.
Yeah.
And so he's on meeting after meeting after meeting. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of my rest day. I do bare minimum. I may read all day long. And trust me, that's also research. To be a writer, you need to be a reader. So,
For all you wannabe writers out there, that's a good lesson for you.
yeah. So Mondays are really down days for me because Tuesday through Sunday is nonstop go, go, go. And and in doing all that, I may come across something that will irritate my husband because he'll tell me something and then I'll read it somewhere else or hear it from someone else and he'll do this. Go to Cliff. Hey y'all, so I want to tell you about a little something that happens in the day of the life of Maria and Matt. Matt has opinions, and when I don't listen, this is what I hear. What was that you just said?
I tell her things, and she doesn't believe me. But then she hears it from Judy Bloom, or Gary Vee, or Rachel Hollis, and all of a sudden it's a good idea. But when it was for me, she didn't want to listen.
Look, all I'm saying is, and I hope this is recording, it's not that I don't believe him. It's just confirmation to what he said. That's all it is. So they are confirming how wise my husband is. Okay, that's it. Bye, guys. Okay, and so it's true though. But balance for us looks different on different days. Tuesdays, it's ladies' Bible study. Wednesday, it's date day. So that's us day. And then Thursday.
We do it on, by the way, for those of you who don't know, we talked about this before, but we do it on Wednesdays because most of you guys watching, you're at work while we're going on a date, because we get to enjoy the not having lines at Disneyland and not having to wait for a seat at a restaurant. Like we enjoy that, and we've positioned ourselves in life where, as an author and as someone who works, as both of us work from wherever we want to work from, so we're able to do that.
Yeah, like this past week we went to Disney. And it was nice. It was spring break, but it actually wasn't that busy because most of the parents still had to work, even though kids had spring break.
Yeah.
So it was a great day and we really enjoyed ourselves, but balance is different. And that means we also work on Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, because we do have that laptop life where
the benefit is we can work from anywhere. The negative is we can work from anywhere. So people can reach out to us, and if it's an emergency, like right before coming out to work out, I literally got a call from someone who had broken something that was very important and makes a lot of money, and so we had to sit down and fix it.
I'm calling him out. Good job, Joe.
We won't say last names, Joe. But
I'll be tagging you.
We'll be sending you this link so you know that we called you out.
Which means I had to come out here and start working out by myself. Whew, I really did sweat. Got that funky bedhead still going on.
Anyway.
But balance. So balance looks different no matter what, because when our kids were little,
yeah.
though we always came first, they were a huge priority.
Yep.
Like
they were big number. Technically, they were big number 3. So it was God, spouse, kids, then work.
Yeah.
Like we had to make decisions. Like, for example, if your kid gets sick or injured, they're a priority over work. Like, I'm not going to work if my kid needs me and they're in that type of situation. Sorry, that's just...
Well, not only that. So our kids, we had told them that they had to be in school full-time or work full-time. So, of course, high school and middle school, whatever, school full-time. They had to be active in school in some way. So Sierra played sports. Caleb was in LSA. And then
Legal Studies Academy.
And then they had to have a part-time job or volunteer. And so they did that. Sierra played sports though, which meant after school every day she had practice. Okay, you would think that us being at the games were good enough. I had to be at every practice. And if I wasn't there, literally, I missed one practice, she freaked out. Why weren't you at my practice? Matt missed one game, she freaked out. So
our kids are spoiled, by the way, but in a good way.
They are.
We did that on purpose.
We did.
Parents are supposed to be there for their kids.
So
as much as they can be.
They were our priority, and we had to balance that. And I couldn't have the job that I had a couple years ago when they were little, because I could have, but I chose not to because my priorities and my balance at that time were different. Matt traveled at that time for work, but
a lot.
But as the kids got older and grew up, then I was able to travel for work and have that mixed balance where I would left, we've talked about this. I left on Monday, home on Friday, blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't do that when they were little. That's me personally, because that my kids were that priority over my job. Where as they got older, my priorities shifted.
Yeah.
And
also another Facebook Live I did a few days back was talking about how you're gonna have to throw your life off balance. Like if you're, I work with a lot of business owners and people who are trying to be business owners, and if you are, working a job, working 9 to 5, and you want to start your own business and kind of own your own life, you have to purposefully throw your life off balance temporarily before you can regain the new balance you're looking for. And a friend of mine saw my live that was talking about that, and we sat down and we figured out how he could throw his life off balance and work Saturdays and whenever he's not working his regular job to build his own business, so that way in the next year he can be just working in his own business. So sometimes you purposefully throw your life off its current balance in order to shoot for a new balance you would prefer.
So in saying that, when we started this entrepreneurial life,
sure,
you know what I'd said. Matt was working 12 to 16-hour days and then would come home and work for like 5 or 6 hours and get a couple hours sleep, because he was getting into bed like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 6 and going back to the office. But he knew the bigger vision and the bigger dream, and we knew it was temporary.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about how I found out one day what he was doing, but we'll do that.
We'll save that.
Yeah, because literally
we'll do that on the next video. So if you want to know the chaos that happened when she found out what I was doing in order to free ourselves from the jobs we were in, stay tuned for the next video.
If you could have seen my face, I was overhearing a conversation, a FaceTime he was having, and I'm not joking when I tell you.
Let's just say this: there was like do we need to have a marriage conversation because of this conversation?
We did have to have a marriage conversation, because I heard things that I was like, "Excuse you? You did what? Where is this coming from?" But we'll say that. Make sure you watch tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I thought we were about to have a coming to Jesus moment. But instead we had a hallelujah, praise the Lord moment. And you need to watch to find out what it was.
Anyway, so that's balance. We're trying to keep these new videos short. So if you guys, any feedback you have regarding balance, any questions you have regarding balance, throwing your life off balance to gain new balance, how you have to be a whole person that's found their own balance, join another person who's found their own balance, and create a balanced household for your kids.
We can have a whole conversation about that.
If you guys want us to talk about that too, comment down below and we can talk about that too. I mean, it's not easy to do, especially with a blended family. Like the chaos that happened before we found balance was ridiculous. So if you want to hear about that, let us know in the comments below. We'll talk about what you guys want us to talk about. But we're gonna go run away from these bugs now. So yeah, we will see you next time. Stay tuned for the next episode where we talk about how I almost got murdered by my wife. So yeah. All right, we'll talk to you later.
That's not how we end.
How do we end? This is all going in, by the way. How do we end?
Well, because we
We changed it.
We did change it to find the good in your life, and we're finding the good in our life, and we want to help you find the good in your life.
And that's how we end it. All right, bye.
Bye.